Hey guys, alright, we're back again. This is Chase Campbell. We're at the point where our dough is done fermenting. As you can see, it's definitely risen quite a bit. Now, it's not a round form, so one thing I will say about this is that if you want it to be a little more of a rounder form when it comes up, is that you want to dry out your dough a little bit more. I'm okay with my dough being like this. I think I might experiment with it being a little more drier as well. So maybe just add maybe like a 1/4 cup more when you're making the dough. That's 5 cups. Make it more drier. Make sure that's a solid form. So this definitely ends up looking a little bit less solid, but a little bit more porously opening. But I like to use it, and you can use it. This is actually called a high hydration dough. All right, so just like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and dump this out onto our table or area real quick. So once again, I like to use my scraper. I'll go ahead and scrape the dough out. It's got some nice holes. I've been able to get air it out really good. Okay. Excellent. So there we go. Got it out, all out on the table. So high hydration, once again, it's going to be sticky, but it's not going to be too sticky. This one's not too bad. So take the opportunity, take this together, and now what we're going to do is we're going to form the dough. All right? So you're not really going to need it or anything like that. So if it gets a little too sticky at this point for you guys, it's a good thing to do. Just once again, just get a little bit of flour, rub it on your hands. You can pat it on the top to make that a little less sticky. Don't like actually add any dough, any flour at this point, unless you feel like it is too. If it ends up being too just watery or sticky, then you can add it in, and then you're gonna need to let it sit for another 2 to 3 hours, just to be able to let it ferment that flour that you just added. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this up. Once again, this is nice to have a little scraper, because then you can scrape the bottoms, and you can really get it up really nicely, really quick, just like that. All right. So now form in your hands. Now we don't want to lose that good air, and we're gonna roll it again. So we're gonna roll it with our hands. Once again, that little rolling motion. Rolling it, just like that. All right, until we start getting that nice top. Want to make sure it's nice and tight. We don't want it to start ripping on us. So if you start seeing those little bubbles on there, like there, you can kind of put those together a little bit, dab them up. I kind of just dab it like that. Works pretty well. So once you can see with my hand, it's getting a little sticky. Just gotta get a bit more right there. There we go, perfect. It's gonna allow me to be able to pull it up and work with it better. All right, so form it into my dough. Okay, and then I'm gonna do my last step. And this is where, and if you want to, for this, if it's getting to you, you can just go and sprinkle a little bit on there, kind of help it from really sticking. So this last step, so you're gonna take your hands, you're gonna kind of cup them in like this. What that's gonna do is gonna tuck it under. It's gonna help tighten up the top here. Tuck, just like that. And it's also gonna form it into that boule or circle shape that we're going for here. So yeah, and once you're done, you feel like you're good. All right, you're gonna pick it up, and as you can see, we have a nice little bottom there. All right, we have our form, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your proofing baskets that you made that I talked to you about before. Remember, linen cloth or cotton cloth, just a kitchen cloth. You're gonna layer it with your flour. I'm just using a colander. You can actually use a basket if you want. A lot of people do that. Just something that's a little porous in it to help with, does have a little circulation of airflow going through it. Okay. So now I'm gonna take it. I'm just gonna reform this real quick, just because it was sticking in my hand for a little bit. There we go. All right, reform it up. Into my bowl. There we go. And now you're gonna put it top down, just like that. Just like that into it. So this is the bottom right here, and then the top's underneath it. The reason why you do that is because you want to make sure that this seam that's right here that we made, that we kind of push together with our hands, is gonna be on the bottom when we put it in. So when we put this onto our pan, we're actually going to take this and invert it onto the pan for it to cook. And we want the bottom, that crease to be on the bottom so that it doesn't look horrible at the end of the day when we're trying to bake it, you know. We want this to look presentable, really nice. So now you're going to take this and, you know what, you have your extra little pieces of fabric here. So usually I just lightly cover it with the fabric because we just want to cover it. We're going to let it sit now for another hour to proof. So just let it rise, let it take the form of it, and then I'll show you a little bit about proofing at the end of testing it to see if it's all ready, you know, it's all done yet. So we'll stay tuned for the next one, for the next video then, and that's going to be, we're going to be showing of when we're ready to go. And if we're ready to go, then we'll pop her in the oven, and then we'll do some of the cuttings on the top.